What's up, family? It's your man, Mark Black. In my last live broadcast, I eulogized my brother and all of us black males. I did this because I can see our current social, economic, educational deaths and our actual physical deaths looming on the horizon. There are a myriad of reasons why black male flesh is on the menu for everyone in Fortress America that I hope to elaborate upon in the future, but today I want to discuss a caricature that is propped up against my brothers and the real harm this false model means for us. I want to discuss the idea of the bootstrapped negative black male culture. As usual, before I get into the meat and potatoes of my commentary, I need to define terms. I use the term culture in the sociological sense, defined as the ways of thinking, acting, and being, and the material objects that together shape a people's way of life. The non-material aspects that make up culture are values, rules, norms, ethics, morals, belief systems, and so on, with material aspects being the physical evidence of those aspects of non-material culture, like arts, structures, labors, etc. I'm defining bootstrapping to mean a self-starting process that begins and proceeds without any external input, as well as a euphemism for any absurdly impossible action, as I will argue that no human being is capable of creating a self-driven culture. Now that I've defined my terms, let us begin to pick this garbage apart. In the current milieu of expressing the issues around black gender relations, often we'll find various individuals attempting to assign blame to either black females or males for our current disposition as a collective. Both sides are prosecuting a war of words back and forth with varying degrees of success depending on the venue. It appears that black females are winning this war due to alliance with pale women's feminism, current intersectionality studies in the academy that deny black male reality, and to be 100, the resignation of black males from the field of battle. The few males that even attempt to address issues with black gender relations are either so absurd and brutal that we cannot co-sign them in any good conscience, like Tommy Sotomayor and his ilk, or they try a few times to speak out, then promptly shut up and toe the party line. It doesn't matter who you are, if you are willing and even remotely able to attempt to blame black males for anything, you can win and stay winning in this current iteration of whiteism. Just like we have coons under whiteism that parrot the sentiments of the whiteists, we have black males that pander to black female audiences by repeating, "It's the black man's fault," like broken records. I'm here to tell you that I'm not looking to assign blame. I'm looking to do what I always do. See what is responsible for the current order and seek a way to remediate it if possible. Black gender relations are not a moral issue, and I will not treat it as such. Culture among any people requires at least two things to be viable. One, it needs to be communicable, and two, it needs to be reinforced. We are not born with culture. You could be born ethnically Arab, and if raised with a Jewish family, will become Jewish. Human beings are given culture through cultural transmission and primarily via socialization. Socialization starts with us learning the rules of interacting with a few people, like family, and grows to encompass interacting with many people. This is undeniably clear and well accepted amongst any learned and thinking persons. The foundation of socialization begins right after birth. We are born helpless and have innate reflexes and baseline mental capacities that forces us to reach out looking for aid and comfort from other human beings. This is our genetic inheritance as Homo sapiens. The first person, if we are truly lucky, to reach back to us is usually our mothers. She is the first other being to provide us sustenance, comfort, and safety. Because of this, that tie with her becomes the first vehicle for the transmission of culture, or in the words of Malcolm X, the mother is the first teacher of the child. The message she gives that child gives to the world. Culture is the voice in your mind that tells you what to do when no one else is telling you what to do. The initiator of that process is Mama. Mama is God to all children. She is normally the one that sets the foundation for all of the other acculturation you will experience. This is axiomatic, and it is absolutely important for understanding where we're going next, because I'm going to tell you about a group of human beings for which this basic axiom is considered to be untrue. That group is black males. Black males are accused quite often of having embraced a culture of insert negative trait here. We are accused of having embraced a culture of mimetic hegemony, rape culture, cowardice, subordination, hypersexuality, anti-intellectualism, commitment phobia, responsibility dodging, selfishness, brutality, laziness, and in short, just about every negative trait one can assign to us. This is so common in the society at large that most black males don't even give it a second thought. However, many of us appear to be deathly afraid to suggest or even hint that if we reflect any aspects of these immoral and negative traits, we might have been acculturated to do so. Trust me, I see why. When you have drawn the ire of black females and their male acolytes, it can be extremely hard for you. However, I would be remiss if I didn't at least explore the possibility, and so I have. And based on the information and study I've done, I am comfortable at this point with assigning the primary responsibility for black male acculturation where it belongs, with black mothers specifically and black females and male acolytes as the primary cultural enforcers. I seem, however, to be one of a very few with the willingness to do so. Instead, what we are being told is that black maleness isn't a function of acculturation through primary and secondary socialization. We were given all of the proper socialization and acculturation, and we somehow managed intergenerationally and en masse chose to pass on our acculturation and socialization and select the deleterious and negative culture to practice. Family, I can't make this up. We, the members of one of the most degraded, brutalized, denigrated, and diminished groups of males on the planet, with no help from anyone, and in point of fact, being given all of the proper social tools and cultural ideas, managed to erase all of that and bootstrap ourselves into a completely different culture. Not only have we, who are supposedly incapable of even being father to our own biological children, have somehow found the mental wherewithal to be able to create our own destructive culture from nothing but our own resources. On one hand, this should be an idea so stupid that anyone espousing it should be laughed out of the room and dismissed out of hand. On the other hand, it is truly a feat of mental gymnastics that is strangely admirable. So you have black females who are telling us that they did right by us black males. They raised us right and socialized us properly. Everyone around us was dropping jewels in our path everywhere we walked until one day, as a collective and in multiple generations now, we just simply said, fuck that shit, reached down and grabbed our cultural bootstraps and pulled ourselves up to bask in the light of the shittiest masculine culture known to humanity. Every other male of every other ethnicity managed to stumble into adulthood with their primary and secondary socialization and acculturation reinforced and intact, except you. This is patently ridiculous, family. This isn't about blame, it's about remediation. By every possible measurable standard, black men are at the bottom. Health outcomes? Check. Employment opportunities? Check. Life expectancy? Check. Family stability? Check. Resource acquisition and accumulation? Check. Black females relative to us are doing vastly better on every measure you can imagine. Is there no one that sees anything wrong with this? This isn't me arguing that they should do worse or be reduced down to where we are. This is to say that if our sisters have had the primacy of place, and it can be argued that they've had it for generations now, they to whom much has been given, much is required. You cannot demand that I adhere to a standard that all of the data suggests is currently impossible for many of us to adhere to. You cannot acculturate me to believe that manhood for me is what it is for pale males or whoever. You cannot continue to refuse to listen to what my experience in reality is and expect that I become somehow viable. We cannot continue to contribute to the social murder, economic demise of, and actual killing of black males and expect that this will somehow make black lives better. It doesn't matter if it is black females that are spouting this mess or if it is black males. In fact, I assign no responsibility to any black male who rants at other black males about our lack of leadership, refusal to accept responsibility and accountability, and so on. He is proof that many of us are following the acculturation we've been socialized into. These males, with their attempts to shame us into adhering to this acculturation, are doing nothing more than proving that we are being provided with a maleness standard. I would never deny that we are being taught what black maleness, masculinity, and manhood are. I simply question whether or not we're being taught these things based from a reality and an experience that is ours and not some black female fantasy propagandized for in the society at large. Why isn't it considered your problem, black female, when you demand that I protect you when I cannot defend my own life? Why isn't it your worry when you demand that I pay your rent, buy you diamonds, pay your car note, when it is likely that you'll have a job and if I have one, you have one that pays more than mine? Why isn't it your concern that I struggle with relating to you emotionally when my acculturation tells me that my feelings don't matter and aren't worth exploring, let alone addressing? The solution to this problem isn't moral, it's mathematical. If you have the primacy of place, then you are responsible for the uplift of those of us who do not. If you cannot accept this, black female, then I can assure you that soon you won't have to. There will hardly be any black males to desire, even if you remain desirous of even having one. This is your man, Mark Black. Like, share, and subscribe for more. And until next time, love, peace, prosperity, and power. Real power to all of our people.